Good evening, colleagues. I'm not sure if we should be starting our meeting now. It's 6:30, and I think we should perhaps be starting our meeting. I would like to take this opportunity then to greet all of you, our board members, our executives, including our CEO, and also our leadership at the provinces and the branches. And I would also like to greet our members, fellow summer members who are in this call. And I think the reason why we have this meeting today, it is simply because there are amendments to our MOI, and as a tradition, we would like to engage with our fellow members of the association to really look at, some of the changes that we thought are unnecessary to the MOI. And you know that and now and again, we need to look at our MOI and see if it fits the times and also the changes in our environment and in our profession as well, but also in the companies. We know we work under the Companies Act, and I think it is our duty, fiduciary duty, in fact, to be considering any changes that are necessary to our MOI. But we know that we can't, as board, just change the MOI overnight. We need the consultation with the members of SAMA, input from the leadership, input from the members, but also we need to take it to the AGM, where it will be considered by majority of our members within the association, so that nobody is left behind and that nobody is taken aback by changes that have been proposed to the MOI. So we would like then to take this opportunity then to welcome you all and request that we be taken through the changes. Not sure if the CEO is around, but will be taken by the CEO.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, CEO. If you could just take us through then to the changes that we are expecting or anticipating with the MOI. Over to you, Summer CEO.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, for the opportunity, and good evening to all of you, the leadership of SAMA, at both board, executive, and at branch level, and all the members of SAMA at large. Chair, these are very few slides that we're going to quickly go through of them. Thank you very much, Shakun, there. Can we move on to the first slide? Basically, this slide talks to the value of the involvement of membership in the changes that are being made, as the chair has indicated, that this is very, very important in terms of the governance structure, the rights and the responsibilities of members, understanding their organization, and also maybe making inputs in the changes that are being made. The first change that we're going to consider is on the next slide, and it just talks to defining member in good standing, Chairperson. It says that a member not in good standing means any member who is not up to date with their membership fees and has been found guilty by a disciplinary panel under the Companies Act, right? Under the company's membership disciplinary procedure for the duration of the sanction. Basically, this is one of the things that we just want to make sure that there is no ambiguity, misinterpretation, or any misunderstanding of what does it mean when we refer to a member not in good standing. We just wanted to clarify that. So we're going to pass, Chairperson, and then we'll then take questions at the end of this. I think this part just talks to what the chair was referring to, us adapting to the times and the environment that is changing ever changingly around us, talks to a signature of and a signed means an electronic signature as defined in the Electronic Communications and Transactions Act number 25 of 2002, and a wet ink signature, and both will have the same binding effect. Basically, now most of our board members have their electronic signatures, which can be appended on approval by members, but also there's a wet ink like we normally signed in the past. I think this is very clear, colleagues, that whenever an MOI refers to a signature or a signed, the meaning therefore is clearly defined and it eliminates any potential misinterpretation or misunderstanding. Let's move on, Shakun, with the speed of light. And this one talks to our fund, which is called the Benevolent Fund. Basically, this eliminates the benefit of non-SAMA members from the Benevolent Fund. It says that where possible, relief will be granted by way of grants, donation, annuities, and other means to members, dependents of members, and deceased members of SAMA only. I think the change there is the only. Let's move on, Jacon. Yeah. So in terms of the objects of the company, again, I think this clause basically talks to our participation in regional and international bodies that include both the WHO and the World Medical Association. And in this instance, we can also refer to the CANMAS as well as a regional body. So it says that we need to actively participate in self-regulation of the medical profession. So that's a national responsibility to represent and advance interests of the medical professional at national and international levels by interacting with other national and international professional organizations with similar objectives. Yeah, that's basically talking to our national responsibility in terms of the self-regulation and our regional and global responsibilities from our region and the continent and the globe. Yeah, and then let's come to this one that talks to the use of assets and funds. So this was one of the parts that I think we wanted to delete, but after robust discussions, it was decided that it comes back. It is very clear that the company may not provide a loan to or in any way facilitate the lending of funds by a third party to any office bearer of the company or to any office bearer of a related or interrelated company or a person related to any such office bearer. Yeah. Nor may the company enter into any indemnity, guarantee, and or suretyship and secure payment thereunder in any way. So basically, what it means, Chair and colleagues, is that SAMA cannot provide any financial assistance to office bearers of SAMA or office bearers of subsidiaries of the company. I think it's straightforward, self-explanatory, Chair. Next one, Shakun. Yeah, here we talk to termination of members. This is going to be a little bit longish. So termination or suspension of membership. So the amendment is members' membership of the company will terminate as a result of a sanction of termination issued by the disciplinary panel as set out by the company's members' disciplinary procedure. And I think the part that talks, that is new here, which talks again to what the chair was talking about, the changing environment, is a member's membership of the company will terminate in respect of non-payment of subscription fees. A member's membership of the company will terminate in accordance with SAMA policy. So basically what the MOI wants to manage here, colleagues, is the issue that has emerged as as a crisis that we're trying very hard to avert of unemployed doctors. And if we terminate their membership on the basis of non-payment simply because they were unemployed, it doesn't look fair. Then it implores the company, therefore, to develop a policy that manages that part. Next slide, Shakun. I think it's a continuation of almost the same. Yeah. So a member's membership will automatically be suspended, by the board in respect of non-payment of membership fees in accordance with summer policy. That's what we were dealing with before. Also, again, it will be suspended for the duration of any sanction of suspension imposed as an outcome of a disciplinary hearing instituted in terms of our company's members' disciplinary procedure in respect of any breach of summer code of members' conduct or summer policies. A member not in good standing due to non-payment forfeits all claims to the benefits, rights, and privileges of membership upon suspension of their membership until the cause of their suspension is rectified. I think this is also just self-explanatory. The Roman figure 3. A member not in good standing remains liable for their membership fees until such time as their membership is terminated, as per clause 4.51. Sazinzama Chair has got a hand raised.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sorry, just a minute,
Yes.
sir. If you could hold on that, I'll come back to you. Just want to finish this and then I'll come back to you.
Sure. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. CEO, continue, please.
No, thank you so much, Chairperson. Shakun, can we then move from this slide? Okay. And this part deals with the right to requisite a board or a meeting, a members meeting from the board. So basically, it says the right of members to requisition. I don't know, Company Secretary and Shakun, if this requisition term is a legal term, but we'll leave it like that. The company's board to call a members meeting may be exercised if an aggregate written and signed demands for a meeting with substantially the same purpose are made by at least 2% of the members entitled to vote, provided that each such demand describes specific purpose for which the meeting is proposed. And then the additions are as follows. 5.2. The Governance Department will assist members in requisitioning a meeting if a signed written request is received by at least 30 members entitled to vote. The request will circulate to all members entitled to vote, describing the specific purpose for which the meeting is proposed. Members entitled to vote will have a maximum of 30 days to sign the request. The board will convene the members' meeting as soon as the required number of signatures is obtained, irrespective of whether the 30 days has lapsed or not, as per clause 5.2 above. However, the request will fail if the required number of signatures is not obtained by the conclusion of the 30 days maximum period. I think this also explains itself, Chair. But I mean, we will get a chance to interact with members. Next slide, Chakun. Yeah. So in order to avoid the abuse of these meetings being called repeatedly, there is an addition there to try and manage that. And it just reads that to avoid abuse of this procedure, if a request to requisition a members meeting for a specific purpose fail, a request to requisition, this is the part, Shakun, that I'm saying, this term, a request to requisition a members meeting for the same or similar purpose cannot be initiated until the expiry of the 30 days from the date the initial request was failed. So meaning you can't, if you failed to get the signatures in that 30 days, the initial 30 days, you can't, because you failed, and try now and submit another one. I think that also explains itself, Chair. So in terms of the process, the simplification of the process to call a members meeting, let's go to those amendments. Members meeting, including the annual general meeting, which is an AGM, to begin is at least 5% of the members entitled to vote are present in person or by proxy. Any matter to be decided at a members meeting, including at the AGM, may not begin to be considered and decided unless at least 5% of the members entitled to vote are present in person or by proxy at the time the matter is called on the agenda. The minimum number of members in good standing, which is almost the same as those entitled to vote, required at a meeting to reach a quorum is 5% of the member base at the time of the meeting. Yeah, I think this again, Chair, is very clear in terms of what is the requirement from a quorum's point of view for us to be able to discuss issues that needs to be considered and decided upon by the association. Next slide. Oh, why do I have more on my side? Okay, that's fine. There are people at the lobby, Chair. So, Chairperson, let me hand back over to you, Chair, that those are the key highlights in, those are the key highlights, Chairperson, and we are prepared to engage. The board is here, the governance office is here, and we are prepared to engage with members who might have questions. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, CEO, for that. I think the admin would assist us with admission of those that are in the lobby. But I think let me go straight to Sazi's question. Maybe we start with that area of amendment. Sazi, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Master Chair, and greetings to the board, the members, and the Chief Executive Officer in the meeting. Seeing as we now have gone through a lot more things, I have more than one question that comes on. I wanted to find out, in terms of how we got to 2% of the members need to be aligned in order for a motion or a special motion to pass, how did we get to that number? And in terms of the quorum for an annual general meeting as to 5% of the membership, I just would like an explanation as to how we reached that number of 5% as well. And then finally, a comment that I wanted to throw is then in terms of entitled to vote, being different to the eligibility for a member to vote, I wanted to highlight that I do believe that if it's not expanded, it should be clearly ratified or stated that all members of SAMA are entitled to vote, because by virtue of being a SAMA member, you are entitled to vote in SAMA business. However, members who are eligible to vote, which is a criteria, are members in good standing, which I think the amendment to the Constitution to the MOI should state something along those lines, or define the eligibility criteria of members who vote. Otherwise, I fear that people who are SAMA members will say that because by virtue of being a member, I'm entitled to vote. And that might open a door to a bit of problems in that regard. Thank you so much, Chair.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Sazi, for your questions of clarity. Let me take the CEO to respond, or any other board member to respond. But CEO, do you want to respond?
Sure, Chair. I will attempt to respond on the first one. I think the second one might be a little bit technical, which might need some assistance from governance in terms of, because I think Sazi is suggesting just the term of eligibility and entitlement to vote. So we just need to look into that. Governance will assist. But in terms of the first part, Sazi, I think what the board, what informed the difference between the 2 and the 5% is that the board was trying to make it easier for members to be able to call, to do the requisition in terms of their submission, so that you don't take it to that 5%. But when you dealing with issues that needs to be considered and decided on a members meeting on an agenda, then you really need to have a you almost need to have a significant number. That's why the difference be from 2 to 5. So the 2% is for the members to be able to call the meetings, if I'm understanding well, and governance, feel free to correct me on this. And on the 5% then is for the decision-making process of the board on things that needs to be considered. And can I then maybe hand over to governance to explain the technical part? And if I'm leaving something on the first question of Sazi, you can then add. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Governance.
Thank you very much, and good night, everyone. Or good evening, everyone. With regards to that question on entitled to vote, so if one were to look at the MOI, there is already a section which hasn't been changed. It's staying unchanged, where we classify the difference between our voting and our non-voting members. Currently, the only non-voting members, therefore the members not entitled to vote at an AGM, are our student members, our honorary members, and any expatriate members, which are members that are not within the borders of South Africa. But those terms and those classifications already exist within our MOI and are not being altered through this amendment.
All right. Thank you so much, Company Secretary, for that clarity. Dr. Nzama, are you clarified?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I am clarified. Although not satisfied, I am clarified. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, on my side, I can't see the hands, colleagues. If there's any hands that I'm missing, then you'd assist me identify such hands. But the purpose of this gathering, obviously, it is to have this engagement, have questions asked, get clarity, so that we do not drag and delay the AGM or on the day of the AGM. This is a platform where we can differ on the changes, add input or whatever we want around this matter. So I'm encouraging all the members here present to really take their time and ask questions of clarity. Do we have such hands at the moment, colleagues?
I'm not seeing any, Chair, for now, but I think I don't know, Chair, how because Sazi to me sounds like he's got an idea and a suggestion, because he's saying is clarified but not satisfied. So I would have loved to engage him on what, and his hand is up. Okay, his hand just went up.
All right. No, thanks then. Sazi, do you want to come back again?
Sure. Thank you, Sir Master Chair. Thank you, Madam Company Secretary, for responding. I do believe my fear, and I'm hoping it might not reign itself true, is that if we look at a number of 15,000 members within the organization, 2% means I only need 300 doctors to sign a petition to call a meeting, which for me does not necessarily seem representative of what I believe should be required for individuals to be able to bring the company to a halt and summon the organization to a meeting. If anything, I would be much more satisfied with requiring, if not 10%, 5% of signatures in order for a requisition to be submitted. I do believe requesting 300 of 15,000 votes is a number, and my fear is that it creates a situation whereby I can get the same 300 people to pass the same motion every 30 days just to disrupt the ordinary business of the organization. That for me is a risk that I would like the organization to mitigate. I wanted to throw another one in terms of the suspended members that when we spoke about the suspension of members, I noted that the amendment was that it should be awaiting an outcome, that a suspension of members would be waiting an outcome. And I wanted to inquire that what happens in the event of a protracted era of a case being investigated or ongoing, and that specific member then has an issue that requires the organization to intervene. Do we then stop and discount the fact that they are an individual who is in discord specifically with the organization or within a legal aspect, and request and then assist them, or do we suspend their membership given the grounds that there is an ongoing disciplinary that is yet to be resolved? I just needed clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sazi, for that. Dr. Notigida, you wanted to engage Sazi?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think Sazi makes a good point, Chair, in terms of the honors, but I think the board was trying not to make it difficult for members to call meetings, which is something that I think from a membership organization point of view, that is governed still by the Act. You probably needed to strike that balance. But I do think that I mean it raises a valid point there. In terms of the duration of the outcome, I mean the company secretary and any board member can come through here. I think the principle of without prejudice here was the one that was applying, that you don't want to. Of course, the person is undergoing a certain process, but has not been found guilty yet. And I don't know that the presumption of innocence until proven guilty was the one that was being used here, Chair. And also, I think, I don't know, it could be that SARS is looking at it from the gravity of whatever case is being dealt with, and this person continuing to be a SAMA member and benefiting equally like other members. But I do think that there are two principles there, or there are principles that informed that decision, that until such time that you are found guilty and an outcome has been issued out, you are then presumed innocent.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would also believe that that was the reason that amendment or that issue was brought, to the MOI, to say, because it's not the first time. I mean, we've been treating members of the association who are undergoing disciplinary processes in the same way, where we say when there's no decision, you're still a member in good standing. But let me ask any member of the board or governance if they want to add on what Dr. Notigida has already said. All right.
Chair, yeah. I see Sazi's hand. I don't know if it's a legacy hand, but yeah, I think probably need to allow response.
Let me see Sazi then come in. Sazi, are you still wanting to weigh in?
No, Chair, sorry, apologies, okay. That was a legacy.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any other hands then, colleagues?
One hand.
Dr. Hussain? Or Dr. Hussain?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, CEO. The question is, if a member is paid member all along and he was given honorary membership, then he lose his voting right. But it's not that he was not paying. Now, because he's honorary member, he's not more entitled to get the voting right. So what is the difference here? Why he can't continue voting? Because he's a good standing paid member all the time, all along. Thank you.
All right. I've got, I think, a question from Dr. Hussein. Let me take, I see the hand from Company Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. So just to clarify that, so there is a difference between an honorary member and a lifetime member. Honorary members is a process where someone thinks that we should invite a specific doctor to become an honorary member of SAMA and recognize their service to the medical industry. I think Dr. Hussein is referring to our lifetime members. They do not lose their membership. They do not lose their voting right. They are classified under the voting section or voting member rights of the MOI. So there is two differences. I think Dr. Hussein is referring here to lifetime members, and they do not lose their voting rights.
All right. Thank you so much, Company Secretary. Dr. Hussein, are you satisfied? I know
yes,
that
I'm clear.
I know that you are worried because you are getting to that level as well.
Yeah, I'm clear. No, it's fine. Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Any other hand, colleagues, on the issues that were presented here? Do you still want to engage on some of the issues? You'll assist me, colleagues, but I can't see any more hands. All right. Then I think, let me then take this opportunity then to thank you for coming in and having the engagements that we had now. You've had the amendments, and these amendments will be presented at the AGM for voting by members. So, but I'm sure that our governance office, also the board members and the CEO are available to, for any questions of clarity beyond this meeting. If there's anything, you could send us an email or whatever, a call, so that we engage you. So, because the aim of these engagements now is, so that we don't, delay the AGM and stuff like that. But thank you so much for all your attendance and for your engagement on this. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.